Hi, I'm George Maestri, and today we're going to take a look at how to do revolved and lathed geometry in SketchUp. Now, this type of geometry has a radial component. So as you can see, all of these are basically geometry that's spun around an axis. And we can do this using the Follow Me tool. So let's take a look at how this works. I have a simple file here with the outline of that table leg, but let's go ahead and start off with something a little bit simpler, and that's a sphere. So I'm going to go ahead and create a half circle and then revolve that around a circle to create a sphere. So to create a half circle, I need to start off with the 2-point arc. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw that along the blue axis. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag it out on the red axis until it snaps into a half circle. And then I need to go ahead and close this off into a shape. So I can do that using the line tool. So I'm going to select my line tool, left click, and drag and close that into a half circle. Now once we have this, we need to create a path around which we're going to revolve this. And we can do that using the circle tool, but I need to make sure that the circle I draw is aligned to this shape. So I'm going to take my tape measure tool. Let's go ahead and left click out along this axis here, create a guideline here, and then I'm going to snap to the outside edge of this and draw back down to that guideline along the blue axis. So now I have a little point right down here that should represent the outer edge of that half circle. And now that I have this, I can draw my path, which is going to be just a basic circle. So I'm going to select my circle tool, snap to this endpoint, drag out along blue until it snaps to that second point. And that should give me this circle. Now I don't need this face, so I'm going to go ahead and select it and hit delete. So now you can see I just have this round path. Now once I have this, I can use Follow Me. So I'm going to select my path, go Tools, Follow Me, and then select my shape. And when I do, it immediately revolves into a circle. Now I have hidden geometry turned on, and you can see how that sphere was built. And if I turn that off, you can see we have a basic sphere. Now we can do this again on something a little bit more complex. So let's go ahead and create a table leg. Now again, we need to make sure that we have a guideline so that way we know exactly the maximum width of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and again use my tape measure tool. And from here I can see that my maximum outline is right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and snap to this endpoint, drop it down, and that way now I have something on this red axis that matches. And again, I'm going to go ahead and select my circle tool, drag out to meet it. Now we don't need to delete this face. I like doing it because it makes things a little bit more clear. And then go ahead and select this path, Tools, Follow Me, and then again select the shape. And there we go. Now we can also do this for shapes that are not solid like this. We can make things such as pipes. So let's go ahead and create something like a pipe. So I'm just going to start off with a rectangle tool. And I'm going to drag up in the green axis. And just make a kind of a long, skinny shape. It doesn't really matter the dimensions of it. So once I have this, I can now create a path for this. So I want to make sure that the path is aligned to the bottom of this. Now notice how I don't have this exactly aligned with that. So I can take my tape measure tool and then just draw out along the red axis so I have something to snap to. And then I can snap my circle tool to that guideline. Now in this case, I don't really have to worry too much about this distance, because what I'm doing is I'm creating an object that's hollow on the inside. So really all I need to do is understand the inside diameter of this pipe. And so I'm going to go ahead and snap this to the endpoint there. And again, delete that, select this, go Tools, Follow Me, and then select the rectangle. And what that does is it runs it around that path, and it gives you an object that's hollow on the inside. So as you can see, these are slightly different objects, but they all use the same technique of creating a revolve using a circle as a path for the Follow Me tool.